Hey guys, what it is yo girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Helping. Because you got to hold your breath for justice. To see justice before our face to Blake is his your girl Cadillac. Anyways, guys, coming through today, October the 31st, 2025. That's gonna keep going on. Just dropped my little granddaughter off. Y'all know I told y'all I was trying to braid my hair, and she would not give me one moment peace. So I just dropped her off to my sister's house. She's gonna hang out with my niece and nephew. And I'm sure when I get off from work, they all gonna be right there waiting on your girl. So may not be no sleep tonight. Didn't get too much of sleep last night. But anyways, I don't have much time, so I better get to it. I was listening to, I went to sleep basically listening to commentary about the loss of EBT and how it's going to affect so many. And many people giving their side, like, because when these sweeping things happen, just like with criminal justice reform and prison reform and wrongful convictions, you just hear the stats, so you don't really have faces and names to place with the stats. So people are telling their stories so that it just shows how much the human factor behind these decisions. Like I say, that is basically like an accountant crunching numbers. The accountant cares nothing about the numbers. They're just doing a job, right? So when they're dealing with our loved ones that are massively incarcerated, they don't care that the number, they even give them a number, but they don't care that number represents a actual human in flesh. That statistic does actually affect a family, not just the individual incarcerated. So this situation with losing EBT will cause not just the individual that is receiving EBT to be affected, it's going to affect that whole family, right? Because they're not really just a number, they're actual humans behind each number representation, right? So I fell asleep listening to people reacting to the toaster lady. Like, literally, I've seen these videos online, but I did not get it. I think I even actually seen hers, but the way when she started talking, I was like, some people irritate my soul. I could not stand the way that she was talking, so I kind of scrolled past. See, I'm not the one that sits there and leave hateful comments and this and that and try to get these people to see the light, because if they're coming from that type of stance, they're not interested in seeing your view. So I don't waste my time with trying to prove to them. But then over on YouTube, I see Miss Lovely T, which Lovely T have not crossed my algorithm in forever. But I always love Lovely T. She is actually like in tune with what's really going on. And she's funny and entertaining and stuff like that. But I don't too much like to get into celebrities and things like that, because that is just, to me, just a distraction. So her content doesn't cross my algorithm that often, but I seen that she had a whole video with them responding to the toast lady, is what they call her. And she's talking about spreading different things on toast and what happened to your EBT for last month, for October. Why don't you use it for November? And now they made that so big by responding to her that her employer caught wind of it, right? And then the employer let her go, from allegedly what I'm hearing. So everyone's like, so what happened to your paycheck from last month? Like, what did you do with that? Did you splurge that on? Because that's what she was insinuating that people with these amounts of EBT is basically just splurging and just getting over and living high off the hog. And for every stat, there probably is a few that is actually the truth for. Just like when they give you the stats on the criminals and stuff like that, there are probably some that fit that description. But remember what I told y'all before. They group everyone together and then they deduce them to the lowest common denominator and judge them according to the lowest that is in that population. So if there is one person, let's say there's millions of people on EBT and there's maybe 10 to 100 people that are doing that, they're going to judge every single person on EBT by that small minority and then project it out to society as, see, hey, this is where your tax dollars are going and you need to stop them from just doing this with your tax dollars and not having to work, and you got 3 and 4 jobs and you can't hardly eat, but they eating high off the hog. That's what they're going to portray to you. But as someone that, y'all know, I was a single mother by force, not choice. If the system allegedly had left my family alone, we would have been a married couple, raising our children, not child, because we would have continued our family, right? But because of them tampering allegedly with my family, they caused me to be a single mother purposefully, allegedly. You purposely dismantled my family, which Lovely T did ask that question. She's like, well, I don't know where the father's at. But there's a history behind that. The lack of fathers being there with EBT being present. I know for in our communities. It was used as a tool to basically apply pressure to the female to not have the father of the child, their husband, no man present, because the squeeze was so hard that if you just let go of the father and you become a single mother, we'll supplement by giving you these benefits in abundance of food and this and that. So it offsets it. So you really don't too much need the father in the child's life. Well, that fed into, it all ties together. It's all intricate. So though I talk about criminal justice reform and all of that, this is tied to it because lack of something causes a person to go into survival mode allegedly. So lack of resources, lack of housing, lack of food is all going to cause the same reaction. They're going to get it however they can get it, which is going to make your crime go up, which is going to make incarceration levels go up. Incarceration allegedly does not rehabilitate. It just shelves. Just shelves. It's like a freezer. Just put them in the freezer, put them in the deep freezer, and then when they thaw out, it's the same thing. When they get out of prison, jail, if they get out, they're fortunate. It's the same thing. They're going to come back, right? Because they have not changed. They've just been frozen in that state, allegedly. So in some ways, it was used as an incentive to divide our families. For me, strategically, they broke my family when they wrongfully incarcerated my husband. Got a song, I'm gonna plug it real quickly. To all my single mothers out there by force, not choice. Hey, know that you can make it, but the choice is yours. If you never give up, never throw in the towel, just keep your head up, you make it out somehow. It's your girl Cadillac. But single mothers by force, not choice. So this trend created a lot of single parent households, which grew exponentially through the 80s and stuff like that. I talked about this a lot on my YouTube channel, and people just thought I was crazy. Like, a lot of people just, oh, you just complaining again. Like, just a lot of these issues that people are going on about now, I have had my share of talking about them and trying to get people to understand, right? So when they took my husband, I still did not qualify for food stamps. I worked at a super center. They allege that I made too much money. Now, this is the issue. A lot of people do not off rip qualify for EBT because they claim you make too much. But too much for what? Too much of what? What do you mean too much? I make too much bills? Because I really don't make too much money. It wasn't until I got fired from my job on my day off for slipping and falling, right? That's part of that system too. Even get paid a dime. Not only allegedly is the criminal justice courts a mess, I'm going to tell you all the courts a mess. With liabilities, whether you YT or BLK, they are getting over on people. It's about the bigger company. So because the company had this whole team of lawyers, they were able to get out of it and not pay me a dime. And I just had to be permanently injured for the rest of my life, which makes it very difficult for me to work and take care of myself, right? So, and there are a lot of people that do receive EBT are in some similar situations. They've been injured for working their whole goddamn lives, or they already have disabilities where they're unable to be a workhorse, allegedly. Because let's face it, one job is not going to get you anywhere. There are working homeless people. That doesn't even make sense to me. Taylor House Publishing just showed a story of a guy and his family having to live in a U-Haul truck. And he was going to go donate plasma. They didn't return the truck yet. It was one day late. The people reported the truck stolen. And when the truck was cornered, the officers, all just by them trying to survive this squeeze that they're putting on everybody. So people are just trying to make ends meet. And if the stress of your bills, you can't hardly pay your rent, but at least you got some food. I've even seen where unhoused people have food stamp cards, have EBT. So they're unhoused, but at least they got a meal that they can go and eat. So you really don't know each person's setup. And then there's this misconception that those on EBT don't work. No, there are many that do work. When I did slip and fall and went down to making minimum wage, when I first started at the theme park, I then qualified for food stamps because I had a daughter. Now, if I was a single person in the same situation, I would not qualify for food stamps. As a single person, when I had them, they gave me $30. I can get me a couple of snacks, like for 2 days, and that was it. They gave me $30. My sister, who is disabled, they give her like $42 a month. That is it. And it never has went up. Over this whole inflation from 2020, it has not went up. She still gets $42. So a lot of people are not hardly getting anything. Then you have some that are getting large amounts, but that is because they're bigger families. They have more kids. They have more heads, more people to feed. And of course, it goes back to, well, why can't they just work? Well, I would rather a person be at home with their children, taking care and raising their children, stopping that recidivism, because that feeds into it too. When my generation, the 80s, we were latchkey kids. You really can't do that now in this day and age because everything is so bad. But you would rather the mother be at home raising her children. So if she at home raising her children and she feeding her children off of my tax dollars, which some of the women receiving them do work, because I was a working mother that received food stamps. So they take that out my check anyway. All you doing is running me my money back. But even if it is the few that are taking advantage, I would rather you do that than what you're doing with my tax dollars. With my tax dollars, you're making us house people wrongfully incarcerated. See, my tax dollars pay for that too. Wrongful convictions. My tax dollars pay to have people in prison, right? Allegedly. And they're supposed to be taking care of them. But yet families are still having to come through with the bare minimum of necessities to survive. So where are all my tax dollars going that is supposed to take care of our loved ones, not fund their industry, if you can understand what I'm saying? I would far rather you take all those tax dollars from that, allegedly, because I don't think it's going to our loved ones anyway, and give them all to all the mothers, even if they stay home with their children, because that's a better situation for the mother to be home with their child. Do you know how bad I wanted to be with my child? I had to work. Y'all took my husband. Y'all dismantled my family, allegedly. You took my husband. You incarcerated him. Then you made me have to pay for his incarceration. Our daughter has scars because you snatched him out of her life. And we completely could have been together and probably wouldn't need